Hello everyone friends, be sure to put a thumbs up under the video and subscribe. Enjoy your viewing the number of people alive. Now people who just live, they go to work, walk, hang out, their number exceeds the sum of those who have died over the past few hundred years. Just think about it. And with the development of civilization, the appearance of various drugs, and a smaller number of believers, the number of people committing sins has increased rapidly. Do you know what that means? The hammock, the Lord of Hell Lucifer sat on the throne. It was the devil himself. Although if you remove his horns and long ears, he would pass for an ordinary office worker, the eternal prison before the dead sinners becomes cramped. The hammock, the supreme demon, was sitting in front of Lucifer. Kneeling, this creature was undead, since its body was not covered with skin. It was the skeleton of a man with the head of a ram, the supreme demon. The hammock, hell, is getting tight behind the throne of the Lord of Hell. The underworld itself, flaunted, hundreds of thousands of people were serving sentences for their sins, driven by the devils of the overseas years. My faithful servant, with these words, Lucifer handed the demon something that looked like a key. I, the Lord of Hell, Lucifer, command, you go and create a new hell. The devil handed the key to his servant, and he reached out to accept it. A few moments later, the hammock returned to his castle. It was a huge, unnatural structure, somewhat reminiscent of the Elfie, but more gloomy and sinister. After his return, the hammock was greeted by his servants. "Mr. What is the outcome?" Without waiting for much questioning, the demon raised the key in his hand and allowed everyone to look at him instantly. Words spread around the room. "This is it, really the key of the Lord of Hell." All the demons of the servant rejoiced. "You did it, sir. Congratulations on your position as the Lord of the new hell, the demoness of the middle class." An actor congratulated her master and politely bowed naturally. "I was Lucifer's servant and wiped his ass for almost 500 years. Bahamurk was pleased finally his wish came true." Meanwhile, the demon is continued. "I'm sorry for the question, but have you already thought about what the new hell will be like? Demons always lack imagination, and I'm no exception." The supreme demon calmly replied, "However, if there is one person I have looked after these words..." The demoness's eyes opened wide, she couldn't believe her ears. "Did you just say, man? That's right. A man rejected by society and locked in his room?" It was a guy quite young in appearance, but his eyes said that they had clearly not seen sunlight for a long time. His sickly skin color also literally screamed about it. And even at that moment, he was sitting in front of the computer and playing the guy was building a virtual hell, the one who banned all people with the awakened talent to create hell. This is the kind of person we need. Old food waste stinking the whole room. Plastic bottles of urine are scattered all over the room. Windows and curtains have not been opened for 3 months. The door handle is covered with dust and cobwebs. I must be so unpleasant to him because his mother was kicked out. He doesn't even leave the room as she spoke. She went up to her father and grabbed his hand, clearly pretending to show his regret. The father's cheeks turned noticeably red, and he hugged the girl Dachong. "It's not your fault, it is you who helped me cope even with such immoral behavior." Thank you for thinking that. The girl snuggled up to her father and he added, "Let's leave him and go out for dinner, or already tired of eating out. Do you want anything specific?" The girl's eyes filled with greed and grinning. She began to say her wishes. I heard my father add something like, "Anyway, I'm going to use my savings that I put aside for that bastard studies, Dajong. How about buying you a new bag?" The girl happily replied, "Since you say that, one just comes to mind." I didn't hear the subsequent dialogue. They left those bastards feeling the vibration.
I flew several meters away. A few bastards were watching this. "Hey, idiot, eat in the first position," said one of them, finally forcing myself to speak. I mumbled, "I am 100 crushed with one head." Kneeling down, I touched one of the guy's shoes and said, "Soon one help me. We've been friends since high school." The guy looked at me with a strange look. Eat Sanji. He seemed to be remembering everything that had happened to us since childhood, but once we were inseparable. Songwon, so you were friends with such an idiot. That's why you don't hit him. The green-haired guy, the instigator of this whole party, 30. With white as peered into my childhood friend. It seemed to me that he was even sweating from the pressure right there. The bully. I woke up and the first thing I did was put on my glasses and sat down at the computer. Dad and that seemed to be asleep already. Well, let's see what reviews there. For the new card Taking the Mouse, I went to the reviews and began to read the perfect card. I've never played something like this. The quality and level of difficulty are impressive. Creator, you should sell it for money. This is the best map of 2022. Among the hells, perhaps the best. After reading a couple of pages, a grin involuntarily surfaced on my face. The reaction is good. And then I noticed a notification in the lower right part of the screen. You have received a message. And could it be when I opened the message, I immediately noticed that I heard footsteps coming out of the fire, and a moment later he came out from there. Demon man, his voice alone made me sweat all over. I am a great demon, the lord of the 20th hell, Mr. Bahamurk. In front of me stood a skeleton with the head of a ram, and his whole appearance inspired strength. He was about 2 meters in size, broad in appearance. Even though he was complete skeletal, he seemed to be bigger than anyone I know. His appearance seemed out of this world, a cloak as black as night, glowing red, scarlet eyes. All I had to do was speak my thoughts out loud. Depression, refusal to attend school, and now hallucinations with ghosts on, walking straight downhill with confidence. I said it out loud, and apparently it was my fatal. I didn't like his offer of all. First, I had to leave my room, and I didn't want that at all. Secondly, why would I work for him? Is there any benefit in this? Listen, I wasn't thinking of doing something like that, and I wouldn't want to have anything to do with you. I just want to live as it is. I evaded consent as much as I could, and then the demon spoke again. Are you satisfied with such an unhappy life? The demon crushed the garbage lying in piles right in the middle of the room with his foot. You didn't hear my sentence. To the end man, to build a hell and make sure that it works properly, you will need to conduct an experiment. What? I was at a loss. What other experiment are we talking about? So I will give you the right to put the sinners you want in